Boys to Planet, the sequel to Mnet's prior K-pop survival shows Boys Planet and Girls Planet. The 8 winning contestants formed the group Alpha Drive 1, as you may know, and the show inspired a Sea Planet spin-off, Planet Sea Home Race, which formed Modesty. But aside from groups formed through the show, there are other groups that are in the making with eliminated contestants, and one of those groups is TUNEXX, a 7-member boy group set to debut on March 3rd, 2026, consisting of members Dongyu, Inhu, Taida, Sungjun, Zeon, Sihwan, and Arctic. 4 of which you may remember from Boys to Planet. As for final rankings before elimination, Dongyu ranked 15th, Inhu ranked 36th, Arctic ranked 33rd, and Sihwan ranked 48th. But if you know anything about this group, which I assume you do because why would you click on this video? This group has not steered clear of controversy, or should I say, one member in particular. And that's what I'm going to cover in this video. The controversies, yes, and whether or not they are substantiated, but also their concept based on all the teasers that have come out so far. Before anyone gets this twisted, this is not a hate video. I'm not saying that you shouldn't support this group or that you're wrong for liking them. I simply want to do a somewhat deep dive into the general discourse and buzz around this group, and why most of it has been largely negative. Is TUNEXX destined for failure from the start, even before they have debuted? This video will be broken up into 4 sections, so please, feel free to skip to the parts that interest you and to skip away from the parts that make you uncomfortable. You are in charge of your viewing experience, and so please, take full advantage of these timestamps if that is something you would benefit from. Okay, now, without further ado, let's talk about TUNEXX. Controversies. Okay, before going into this, warning, this is all alleged and has not been substantiated in the court of law. I am simply relaying allegations that have been posted publicly online. Alright. General criticism and discourse around the group has mainly centered on one member, Kim Sihwan. So since I do not know all of the facts, and these are all alleged as of yet, I do encourage you to do your own research. I will simply be covering what has been the main controversies and accusations that have been circling around the Boys to Planet fandom space. What you need to know is that trainee and now future member of TUNEXX, Kim Sihwan, has been under public scrutiny following a wave of serious allegations that surfaced on Twitter while Boys to Planet was airing. The anonymous accusations, which quickly spread online, point to alleged incidents of bullying, sexual harassment, and inappropriate behavior during his time as a student. So, what exactly was he being accused of? According to multiple posts, Sihwan was associated with delinquent behavior in school, including mocking fellow students, smoking and drinking underage, and instructing classmates not to post incriminating photos as he planned to debut. Some of the more serious claims include alleged sexual harassment toward a teacher, where he reportedly altered his Discord name to inappropriately sexualize her, and sending non-consensual photos of male classmates in restrooms to female classmates. Another post claimed he watched adult content during class, which became audible to classmates during a technical mishap. One user made the following claim, quote, "He transferred to our school and went around sexually harassing our teacher. She was absent from school for a while because of it." Another alleged that he used to watch porn in school. Quote, "He was watching porn in class and his AirPods disconnected. Everyone heard it." User Night by Days on Twitter has translated many of these allegations, and so I will be referring to them, and they will be linked in the description below if you want to take a look for yourself. Allegedly, Kim Sihwan attended Busan Arts High School, then Bunpo High School, then Hanlim Arts High School. He apparently didn't want to go to the humanities department, so he went to Busan Arts for a month and harassed a female teacher with other male classmates. He then had to transfer to Bunpo after a school violence committee was held. Apparently, when he went to Bunpo, he went around with his, quote, "ill-jin friends" in his neighborhood and would rate and mock girls. He told them not to post pictures of him drinking, saying that he needed to debut. Videos have resurfaced of him dancing in a sexually explicit manner, which I would show, but the videos have been pulled down online by the original poster. However, I'm pretty sure that you can find them if you really look for them. When he first entered the arts department at Busan Arts during the first year, he sexually harassed a female teacher by having a Discord username of the teacher's name and female genitalia, and after she found out, she didn't come to school. When confronted about his inappropriate behavior, such as when he had said, quote, "Let's have sex with blank once" on Discord, he would corner the accuser with his friends and ask, "Do you think I was sexually harassing you?" In addition, he allegedly took pictures of other male classmates peeing, including their private parts, and sent them to girls non-consensually in his class. He said it was a joke to the classmate he had exposed, but kept hitting him with a, quote, 40-compartment Magello palette. I'll put some of the accusations in their entirety on screen, so pause if you wish to read them. So, with this level of accusations from key netizens, it was about time that IST Entertainment, the company behind TUNEXX, would speak up about this issue. And they did in early February, and then made an update for fans on February 13th about how they are responding to these accusations. I'll read this latest update in full. Hello, this is IST Entertainment. We have recently identified repeated malicious posts targeting our artists in online spaces. These activities have been observed on various platforms, including X, formerly Twitter. These include the dissemination of false information, defamation, personal attacks, and insults. Such content is maliciously directed at our artists. Such actions constitute clear illegal conduct that causes severe mental distress to our artists, and we are currently pursuing legal action to protect the rights and interests of our artists. We have carefully reviewed materials obtained through reports from fans and our own monitoring efforts. In particular, as an initial response to illegal activities identified on X accounts, we have filed criminal complaints with investigative authorities against 5 specific accounts in cooperation with Sihwan Law Firm, LLC. Going forward, we will continue to collect evidence and respond strictly to the creation and distribution of malicious rumors, mocking, and defamatory posts, and the production and dissemination of distorted content across online platforms, including social media. For any confirmed illegal acts, we will respond firmly without any leniency or settlement. We will continue to do our utmost to prioritize the rights and safety of our artists. We sincerely appreciate the continued interest and cooperation of our fans. Thank you. Fan response. How do fans take this news? Not well, but I assume you already foresaw that or have seen the sheer amount of backlash on your timelines. Fans are rallying around to express their discontent at the news. Many fans have suggested that IST either 1. Kick Sihwan out of the group, or 2. Prove his innocence. However, when they released their statement confirming that they will take legal action to protect Sihwan, fans were irate. For this reason, most public discourse, in both Korea and globally, is a general sense of upset with IST protecting Sihwan. Fans have been calling for his removal from the group, and some have even gone as far to repost content that has Sihwan edited out. In my personal opinion, I don't understand why IST has been so vigilant in defending Sihwan. Even when the controversial allegations surfaced during Boys to Planet, they were quick to defend their artist even when he was shortly eliminated after. I do not see the benefit of keeping him in this group. The cost of kicking Sihwan out is nothing in comparison to how much they will lose if they keep him in and continue to protect him. The more they insist on his innocence and threaten legal action, the more fans will grow suspicious of IST. What is the company trying to hide? What exactly are they trying to brush under the rug? The handling of Sihwan's case is puzzling. Before the controversies, I never noticed Kim Sihwan. Visually and skills-wise, he didn't catch my eye. I'm sure that he did catch the eyes of some, but objectively, his ranking was the lowest of the TUNEXX members who participated in the show. He was eliminated first at rank 48th, while the rest were eliminated later on. In the past, when companies have been steadfast in defending their trainees, it was usually because they had something to lose. For example, when SM Entertainment fiercely stood by Karina from aespa prior to their debut. They had something to lose because Karina was their center visual with impressive dance skills, aespa's poster child. Losing her would mean losing aespa's visual identity in its entirety. But then, what about Sihwan? From Boys to Planet, he was never spotlighted in a way that made him seem like a central figure of his groups. This is in comparison to Dongyu, who was spotlighted for his leadership and choreography skills in Bad, his vocals, his years of diligent training. He was an all-rounder who was commended for his work ethic. And what about Arctic? Well, he was featured for his amazing dance skills despite his young age, how he could freestyle dance like no other. These are contestants that come to my mind when I think of members who are structural pillars of TUNEXX. But then, what about Sihwan? What benefit does he bring to TUNEXX, especially as their center? I do not see what exactly he brings to the table that the other members couldn't bring. Concept. So, what are my thoughts on the concept? Well, for one, I think the name TUNEXX is just as laughable as the name Alpha Drive 1 when it was first revealed at the finale of Boys to Planet. I've of course warmed up to it, mainly through Unshin, but still. Maybe it's because I keep reading it as tunic, the clothing item, or toque, rather than their intended meaning, which is their tagline, quote, tune into our frequency. I'm not the biggest fan of their logo, as it just reminds me of Beyblades and Ninjago. Not to shade Beyblades nor Ninjago, those are my childhood. Overall, I find the group's branding to be middling at best and uninspired at worst. The monotone color scheme feels boring instead of classy and sleek. Truly, nothing about their marketing has caught my eye. If I didn't know the members through Boys to Planet, I don't think I would have tuned in, pun entirely intended. Then, what about the trailers? In their first official trailer, Tune Into Our Frequency, you can hear a radio static narration that says, recently, a pirate radio broadcasting group attempting unauthorized transmissions has been discovered. It appears that TUNEXX are a ragtag group of high school misfits, just wanting to disrupt the scene and amplify their voices. The trailer follows a classic heist movie setup, where each of the members are introduced. Inhu, a quick writer, Tyra, the weather fairy, Arctic, a curious engineer, Sungjun, the tuning master, Zeon, the timekeeper, Sihwan, a chatterbox, and Dongyu, mission operative. The members gather around a table and plan out their strategy. They are then seen packing up for their mission and heading out to their planned location. Then, in prologue, Negasare 있다는 증거, the members notice an advertisement for, quote, unconscious digging club. The members encourage Dongyu to go, and he signs a contract with a faceless figure. On the desk, they have a nameplate that says, we help you rediscover the self you've forgotten. Then the following words are shown on screen. Quote, 7 boys with bold hearts, daring to choose a path unlike any other. A bold heart is not a mere symbol. It is forged through countless choices, layered moment by moment, each decision standing as proof of who they are today. They are beings who carry the alive code, not a number assigned, but one they choose for themselves. That code becomes their compass, guiding them forward along a path few dare to follow. Okay, before we continue, I simply must say this. I feel like it's a sign of bad writing and creative direction when you feel like you have to put text on screen to dump exposition in a narrative. As some of you may know, I made a video about Alpha Drive 1 and their lore through pre-debut teaser trailers. And it is true that there is some text on screen, however, most of the lore is shown rather than said. If anything, the members narrate their emotions rather than expecting fans to pause the video to read a slew of text on screen. But I digress. We then cut to Dongyu, who has a device strapped to his head and a screen that displays readings on his brain. He is then seen in a simulated world. Some kind of link is established, then we cut to the members, all brandishing similar scars on their cheeks. That's the gist of this teaser video. But by the end of it, my main question was, how does this have anything to do with the initial trailer? I feel like I was given tonal whiplash. In the first trailer, the members are a group of youthful misfits, and now they're some kind of superhuman beings. The symbols of each of the videos, radios, frequencies, punk rock versus AI, technology, futuristic hip, seem utterly disjointed from each other. And these aren't really explained in the mood films. Unset mood film We Alive shows the TUNEXX members goofing around on a playground, the image of teenage boyhood. Us Only mood film, We're Set by Us Only, carries a similar vibe. They're in a concrete clubhouse, the members are cheeky and trying to be cute. The boy next door type mixed with an edge of rebellious rule breaker. Again, complete conceptual clash to the prologue video. From a creative perspective, their teasers have fallen short for me. When you choose to pursue a sci-fi concept for a K-pop group, it comes with high expectations. You have to go all in or you just end up falling short. My mind goes immediately to artists like aespa and XG who fully commit to the bit, CGI madness and all. And when you have a group with such talented members like Dongyu and Arctic, I would have thought IST would put more investment into TUNEXX. I can see the way they are cutting corners, the way they are trying to keep the budget low, and that just takes me out of whatever story they are trying to tell. Instead of being inspired, it comes off as tacky. If I can see the plastic sheen of the props, how can IST expect that I immerse myself in the narrative? The TUNEXX members seriously deserve better. In their prologue teaser, it's obvious that they just used AI instead of CGI or visual effects. The glossy sheen, and way that the members don't seem to be integrated into the background, feeling layered on top, lacking depth and appearing pasted on, flat as if they were standing in front of a green screen, those are the dead giveaways. Some of the visuals, such as the brain scans, are kind of interesting, but I can't take it seriously when the device Dongyu wears just looks like he strapped a GoPro to his head. And then there's everything else, the rest of the debut teasers. They all are clearly grounded in a sense of reality, a kind of down-to-earth, rambunctious teen vibe with a slight playfulness to its tone, based on the cartoonish sound effects and the scribble overlays. So, what exactly is their concept? Is it sci-fi simulation and superhumans, or group of friends playing around with radio frequencies? Are we high school disruptors, or are we victims in a scheme to send people into a simulated world where the members have supernatural abilities? I'm utterly confused. I wish I could piece together even a semblance of how these moving parts come together, but I can't. Unlike other groups with similar lores, TUNEXX introduces themes and symbolism but doesn't follow up on it. If there were more connecting threads, more repeated motifs, more obvious overarching elements, I would be able to come up with something, anything. But since everything feels so disconnected and only loosely associated with each other, I feel like I can't make any good predictions about how they fit together. I'm just left wanting. Feeling the noise of all these different conflicting wavelengths overlap into chaos and then radio static. Concluding thoughts. So, is TUNEXX destined for failure? Well, that's a complicated question. Based on what I've researched and the fan response to the group so far, I am not so hopeful for their future. Recently, fans have noticed how the group's first trailer video has currently 17 million views. Yeah, I know. For any trailer video, even from well-established groups, this amount of engagement is unfathomable, and especially for a pre-debut trailer. Some have begun to speculate that IST bought views because the video reached roughly 13 million views after a couple of days, which to many is unlikely. The fact that IST felt like they needed to do this leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Everything surrounding this group has been confusing, contentious, and shrouded in a layer of unease. Okay, here are my thoughts. My current prediction is that many fans of Boys to Planet will tune into their debut, but I don't foresee many of them following the group after the release. For many derivative groups from survival shows, their debut or first release following their appearances tend to get decent traction as people want to see where each of the contestants ended up. It's more about a general sense of curiosity than anything. The same kind of curiosity of when you wonder where your favorite childhood YouTubers are now, or how child actors grew up. It's checking in, but it doesn't guarantee a solid fan base. Many netizens are repulsed and steering clear from the group because of Sihwan and his controversial past. As such, it's hard for me to imagine these netizens suddenly changing their minds and standing the group once they have debuted. Since many of Sihwan's allegations involve misogynistic and sexually inappropriate behavior, I highly doubt many Korean women, hell, women period, would want to stand a group with an alleged sexual harasser. Again, these are simply allegations and I cannot speak on their validity, so take that with a grain of salt. I implore you to see what's out there and come to your own conclusions. But from my perspective as a longtime K-pop fan, I don't foresee people moving on from this controversy anytime soon. When they do debut, I also foresee a kind of selective fan culture occurring. What I mean by this is that I predict there will be fans of certain members, such as Dongyu, Arctic, and Inhu, who may want to become a fan of TUNEXX simply to support them. This will inevitably create a kind of solo fan culture within the group's fanbase. This is common for groups created following survival shows, but I believe it will be amplified by the fact that many fans may not want to support Sihwan but do want to show support for the other members. All of this is to say that my hopes are not high. In this video, I brought up some arguments, but really, we'll just have to wait and see. Will people tune into their frequency, or is it all just noise? And that's it for this video. Thank you for staying till the end, and for listening to my emotionally charged ramblings about a group that hasn't even debuted yet. Funnily enough, this was not the video I'd planned to post this week. I actually had another video in the works, which was a follow-up to my first video on this channel. And as I was working on that, I received a comment asking for me to cover this issue. So shout out to you, Diva. That sparked something in me, as I was already keeping up with those I would deem Boys to Planet alumni and had seen IST's statement on my timeline, so I got sidetracked and wrote this video at record speed. I hope I did justice to this topic, especially since it covers some sensitive themes and delves into controversies which I've ostensibly steered clear of so far on this channel. I truly only wish the best for Dongyu, Arctic, and Inhu. Being a trainee for long periods of time can be taxing. Once you finally get that golden ticket to debut, It'd be devastating to have that opportunity squandered by netizens, controversies, and your own company's actions. So I have so much sympathy for their situation. I'd love to hear your own thoughts on the matter, about Sihwan, about TUNEXX, about their concept, about IST entertainment. Please make sure to be mindful as we are discussing real people and their lives, and I will hopefully see you in a week or so for my next video. Love you, and please be kind to yourself.